What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska, Akademiks, and Wayno here.
It's cracking.
What's up, Mac? What's the deal?
Good with y'all, man.
Nah, man, I like the energy in the room this morning. What's the deal? How y'all feeling?
Good, great.
Dusty just told me that we're off next week, so I'm like, shit, I gotta plan a trip.
Hey, viewers, we are off next week.
Oh, they didn't know?
I guess you forgot to announce this.
We're canceled for a week next week, then we come back.
Late next week is like 4th of July. We're off the whole week. I hope you guys are off the whole week. If you're not, try to take it easy anyway.
Niggas ain't dropping albums anyway.
Yeah, nobody's dropping no out. Like, what's going on?
Someone might drop a surprise 4th of July album, right?
Is Cordacia coming soon?
I don't know. Do we have a date?
You're acting like you excited. Fuck out of here.
No, I want to hear it.
Me too.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Me too. But in the meantime,
Ross dropping an album?
Is he?
He didn't give a date, but I think Ross is coming with an album, but he hasn't given it.
I thought it was coming like very soon.
I mean, knowing Ross, it would be then, right?
Around a big holiday or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, we have some other albums to talk about. You ready?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So last weekend, Gucci dropped his 14th studio album, Delusions of Grandeur. I don't know how to not say it like that. So what did we say yesterday? He has at least 100 projects out. One of his fans tweeted that's the most of any rapper. Can't fact check that, but I'm just going to believe it for the sake of this conversation. But anyway, album number 14, 18 tracks. Features from Meek Mill, Gunna, Lil Baby, Justin Bieber, and more. Production by Zaytoven Turbo, Murder Beats, Take Keith, and more. So this is the follow-up to his 2018 album, Evil Genius. This wasn't like a surprise release, but he did announce it kind of last minute. I think the song with Meek, right, was the first single. What'd you guys think?
Well, when you're dropping like 8 albums a year, you can't have much lead time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You can announce an album. So I think people know when it's time for a new Gucci project, you know what I mean? Which means it's usually 2 months after the last Gucci project. And the way I listen to Gucci's music at this point, keep in mind, Gucci's someone who's thrown out everything in the kitchen sink in terms of everything he's recorded, put it on the tape or an album. I usually honestly fuck with the singles mostly. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, I'm not going to Gucci for no album cause like, oh man, this is a nah. But I like the joint with him and Meek, honestly. I like most of the features on here. Justin Bieber one kind of took me for a surprise, but I thought it was okay.
Surprise in what way? Surprise in what way?
I know this is a new rebranded Gucci, but I would have never thought that Gucci and Bieber is on
I mean,
track.
he worked with Bruno Mars. I understand they're on the same label, so that's fine. But after that, why is Bieber such a stretch?
I don't know. I just didn't see Gucci and Bieber being on the track, period.
Doesn't surprise me.
But again, now
They both goons.
well, it's Bieber Valley, so I understand. But honestly, other than that, I do think it's a solid project. Do I think it's memorable or nothing like that? It's a Gucci album, okay? It's a Gucci album. You take your 1 or 2 tracks you like, you keep it moving, and you take your 1 or 2 from the next album. And that'll be it.
The last Gucci album I really, really loved, I can say I loved, was like The State versus Roderick Davis. That was 10 years ago, I think. Me, at this point, I like Gucci's features more than actually his albums. Like his songs, I'm more of a singles guy when it comes to Gucci. But like, it overall is cool. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't got no crazy idea why Gucci just dropped out the blue or the deep dive on his lyrics and nothing. It's cool. It's like Gucci. It's like a bunch of singles.
Okay, but what about the album cover? Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, of course.
I pulled it up for you, the rebranded Gucci.
No, that's just crazy. So this is
the album cover?
Yeah, that's the album cover. He
I
didn't
just want to look at this nigga's abs, man. I ain't gonna lie, Gucci ain't wear a shirt ever since that nigga been in the gym, man.
If
Salute
you
to
look
him,
like
too.
that, would you wear a shirt?
No, I wouldn't wear no fucking shirt. Wait till I go get my body done.
You're gonna
I was
get
dying
lipo.
doing that shit. Dudes is dying.
Niggas dying?
I seen a report of a dude that died last week trying to get liposuction.
Oh,
Now you talking about DR? They dying. Everybody.
No, man, but he tried to get liposuction.
Oh, lipo?
Yeah.
I'm going to see Dr. Drinky.
Stop it. What?
What?
What's happening?
That's a joke.
No, but it's a cool. It's a cool Gucci album. Like, you know, it's a cool Gucci album. But I'm enjoying his features on other people's shit more than his.
The
actual
joint with him and Meek, I don't know how they're gonna like treat that joint, but I do think that's a banger. Of course, it uses and plays off the Gucci Gang chorus that Pump used when he made the song. But of course, it's more natural when Gucci Man is kind of using and playing off like the Gucci thing. So I hope that song goes.
Is Gucci
like
Gang
it.
still active?
What?
Or is that like a one-off thing?
What do you mean?
This nigga supposed to make a group, right?
Oh yeah, but they have all type of weird. There was the Glacier Boys. Gucci is in everything. Okay, there was supposed to be a group with him, Yachty, and like 2 of the Migos.
I think it's like a good idea on a Friday night, but then they come to terms on Monday like, nah, we ain't doing no shit like this.
Funny enough, though, like, I will say, like, I think it's more than that. I think Gucci records at such a pace that he probably makes music with certain people and just brands that as that. When we get it is up to, like, you know, labels and all that type of shit. We forget that Gucci dropped and this is during the time when people were, very important time for Uzi, right after, I believe, Love is Rage. Lil Uzi Vert versus the World. Mm-hmm. Him and Gucci had a joint
they had the tape, yeah.
You get me? So when he says all these groups, I do think they'll eventually have some type of project when, I don't know. But I actually like the few singles off it. And to be honest, the one with Meek Mill is my favorite single right now that's mainstream.
Surprisingly.
What?
All right, so we got a couple of fan questions about Gucci, and then we want to get to like a Gucci and Makonnen collaboration that's apparently somebody feels a way about. So the first question is, do you think an artist like Gucci Mane cares at this point in his career about album sales and charting on Billboard?
What? Absolutely. Man, like at this point, if you release 100 projects, I'm not saying you're doing it because of income and revenue, but you're doing it because of income and revenue. Like, again, it's a steady stream of what's coming in, and as long as that number stays like at a very even pace for Gucci, where he's not like, yo, he sells 5,000 this time and maybe another time he sells like 45,000. As long as he always hits that pretty much 30 to 50,000 range, I think there he doesn't care about numbers, right? Like as long as it's within the range that we're used to from him. Now, of course, if he like sold 5,000, I'm pretty sure he won off his fucking label.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't see Gucci Mane ever selling only 5,000. I don't really think he cares. I think that he's still signed and all of that, but I think he just does it because he likes to do it. Like, he likes putting out music. But I don't really think he cares about numbers at this point. Like, does it matter for him? Him doing 40, it was a point in time when he was doing 100-something. Does numbers really matter for him?
Well, we're never going to see him suing anyone over bundles, probably, right?
Oh.
We could say that at the very least,
right.
I guess. All right, second fan question. Hey, Everyday Struggle. I heard Akademiks talking about all the projects Gucci Mane has released. Wanted to know what's your favorite project from his catalog or one that you would recommend to a person trying to get into Gucci's music. So Wayno sort of just made his pick before, right?
Oh, well, shit. I got a few of them. I like the movie series he did with DJ Drama, Bird Print. Bird Print is like my favorite Gucci tape. It's so many Gucci tapes. It's shit that I used to have on MySpace that was crazy. I remember it was like Gucci had like 4 or 5 songs with Young Jock. I thought it was a tape, but I don't think it was. I never could find like a whole project from them, but they had like a lot of songs together. But Gucci Mane and Young Jock made a lot of dope music. But Free Bricks is another one. I mean, Free Bricks with Future. That Free Bricks with Future, not the one with him and what's his name? What's my man's name? Scooter, right? Was the other Free Bricks with him?
Young Scooter, yeah.
With Young Scooter, yeah. So I say Free Bricks and State versus Roderick Davis.
Yeah, I would probably the State versus Roderick Davis is the one that Wasted was on, right?
Which one was on?
Wasted? Yeah. And the remix too. Yeah, that I think in terms of mainstream appeal, because you know some of his projects, and I think that's how you kind of distinguish between a Gucci album, at least for me, and like one of the many Gucci tapes, is that like the Gucci tapes seem self-assisted, while the Gucci albums you'll see the bigger features and shit like that. State versus Roderick Davis. I think that time we were hearing Gucci on a more national level, and some of my favorite songs from him came out at that time too. But you're right, I'm with you on most of the list of my favorite Gucci projects. The Bird Print, right? Bird Print, the movie, the 3D or whatever you called it.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
I think he was naming it after a popular movie at the time. I forgot what that shit was called.
And Blueprint, because Blueprint 3 came out around that time.
True.
Yeah.
And Mr. Zone 6, and also Trap God. I think those are the memorable ones. There's a lot of forgettable ones, but those are the memorable ones. So I would just recommend those.
No, had a lot of good songs with Gucci too. Rocco. Him and Rocco made a lot of fire together.
Rocco made a lot of fire with a lot of people.
Hell yeah.
His music goes forgotten.
It does, but Rocco got a lot, like his Rocco features be hard.
Rocco kind of fell back. As soon as Rocco got in his executive bag, he just kind of fell back. And I know he came back trying to put out music, but I think once you hit that executive life, it's usually just a nice recline from there.
Can't blame them.
Hey, that's what we was talking about, Bibby. Nobody wanted to listen. I told you.
Yeah. All right. So last Thursday, in an interview on Beats One Radio's Proud podcast, ILoveMakonnen said that Gucci didn't help him push their collab Spending, which dropped back in January. So he said, quote, no disrespect to Gucci, but he didn't support the record that we just put out together. And I never got to meet him in person. It was just a business dealing. It's the music industry and people deal how they deal in their business. This is a two-part quote, but first, I don't know, does an artist like Gucci have an obligation to help push a record if they're on the feature?
That's due to the terms that they agree to. Who knows? I have no idea.
So when you usually do a feature, like, are their terms discussed, generally speaking?
Every time I've ever dealt with an artist doing a feature, like for another artist that's released on the mainstream, it's like it's an agreement to like maybe do a video. Like it's certain things that you got to lock down from the rip, but they don't have to. Like that's why when you're a young artist and you coming up in the game, you shouldn't just like, all right, let me spend this bread to get whoever I can on my song. Because if they don't know you and they don't really fuck with you like that, then they're not gonna push it. But I mean, like if he just paid him for the feature, then I don't see him like really supporting it. Or if he didn't really care for it, he might have just did it for the check.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it also matters if you're collaborating with one of your peers versus a legend like Gucci. But what do you think?
Man, Gucci's giving out verse to anybody who got the check. I mean, like Gucci has a song with a YouTuber that a lot of people feel makes terrible music, and literally. Gucci did a video with him because of the check. Like Gucci, like he's gonna do exactly what you pay him to do. So again, like I'm with Wayno again with this. If I know you, I'm gonna show you some love. But if I don't know you, nigga, you got exactly what you wanted. You paid for a verse. I gave you the verse. What you want me to do? Like promote the whole shit too?
Yeah.
No, you paid for a verse. So I think Makonnen has a lot of other things going on in his career. Why he might look at that and possibly like feel a certain type of way about it. But even then, you know, like I've heard other instances where a rapper has given a collab or given a feature to someone, and to keep it real, like there's even terms that came down to, hey, he does not have to tweet it out unless he approves these things. And it was a very popular song, or supposed to be a popular song with a really big artist. The artist ended up not tweeting the shit out. You know why? Because they disagreed with the cover art. And again, maybe that's more an elaborate process. Gucci just seems like he's doing something like, yo, bro, how much? Yo, just pay me my whatever for the feature. I'll send it to you on email. Another thing, you say you never met the nigga. You never met him, so you're it's like a bank email transaction. I'm gonna wire you the money, and you're gonna email the song. So he should be mad over that.
All right, so he also put out a new EP called M3, and he just basically went on to say that he feels like the hip-hop community does not support him in general. He says, I haven't had any vocal support from any of them. To say that it's cool, it's okay, or whatever, not okay. I can't read this quote, but I think he's saying because he came out, he feels like because of that, people aren't supporting him and his music.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that is like, it's a decision he made, right? And he has to understand that, like, it might be people that don't want to support you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm happy that he was able to live his truth, whatever the case may be, but you gotta also understand that like there's also gonna be people that don't agree with you. And it may not be cool, but this is something that you have to face. If you wanna be a hip hop artist, you gotta just battle them hurdles. You know what I mean? That's all it is. On top of that, Makonnen ain't that dope to me. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. He's not that dope. I feel like if he was really, really doper, then people would support it. When it came out, when everybody was saying that Tyler might have been gay or something because he said something in an interview.
Yeah.
Nobody said nothing about his music though. Not one thing. Or Frank Ocean.
Yeah, that shit was hard to judge. So he had that big record, of course. He said he got hacked a few years back, like, and then he was like a little bit quiet. I guess he's released music, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to say if it's like because of that or just because of the output, like Wayno's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand him feeling like he has been getting the short end of the stick. Pause.
Did you have to give us Trump hands for that one? What the fuck? What's up with you?
I'm trying to make my point, man. What's wrong with y'all?
It was funny.
Man. Like, I gotta grow up.
No, I was just trying to see when, because I remember when Migos said something about it, and then I think they apologized. So that was 2017, right? Just to be fair to him, there was a little bit of backlash.
Well, I mean, from the Drake situation, right? You know, he felt. By the way, he has a real like bad history of being in business with motherfuckers and not even meeting them. He said he never met Drake, and he was signed to them. Bro, that's what he was saying. He said he saw the nigga one time. Drake flew him out to his crib and left him there like a thought. Like, again, there are things that would make you feel a certain way about how just the industry works.
Right.
And of course, he did come out on top of that. So, you know, I understand that with him. It's just that you're right, nigga. We don't feel your music like that. And also, your point doesn't work when there's other people in the space who are homosexual, maybe bisexual, or we'll just say other, they're having success. And to be honest, even if that's part of the conversation around their music, it still doesn't take away eyes from the music, right? Whether it's Frank Ocean, shit, they're saying Lil Nas X is, homosexual. People still fucking with his music. Again, you had your moment with that one song. Unfortunately, you weren't either dope enough to replicate it. And I have heard songs that I felt had potential, but whether it was the situations you were in, or I think one thing he never acknowledged is some of it is him. The point finger shit is mad cool as an artist. Yo, it's my label. Yo, they won't do this. Some of it was you. You get me? Like, you haven't been the type of artist to really, just personality-wise, to even succeed beyond your sexuality. So we could blame it on sexuality, but I don't think that's the exact reason.
I mean, but I will also say that it does definitely play a part. You know what I mean? Like, you know how hip-hop is. Hip-hop is a lot of homophobic people in hip-hop. And I think, and even with that being said, real quick, like, hip-hop has come a long way to acceptance, but there are still, there's going to be a lot of people that don't support him. The thing is like, yo.
But there are also going to be a lot of people who would support him.
That would support him. But I just think, like, either way, brother, life is full of hurdles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta, that's what makes you a great artist or not, if you can get past it. And if he made better music, then we'd be having a different conversation. It wouldn't even be this type of subject.
Hey, I really just don't believe, like, in 2019, about it be going into 2020 in about, like, 6 months, that a rapper's career just gets completely halted because you come out. I just don't believe that. Like, if you're saying that's the only reason why.
If he's saying that's the only reason why, no,
I'm not rocking with it.
It definitely plays a part.
And again, I feel like there's so many, again, maybe you're not mainstream. And if he was to say, yo, because I came out, I don't get that mainstream look anymore. But I think there's so many different, like, to use the word we used off camera, which we're trying to figure out how to pronounce, there's so many niche, like, sections in hip hop. You could definitely find a fan base to support your music. Yeah. I remember seeing a rapper, her name's Cupcake. She's from Chicago, very lewd in terms of her content, very out there, like, very overly sexualizing. To some people would say very embarrassing. But she was herself, unapologetically. I remember seeing that on Twitter about, like, 4 or 5 years ago. I retweeted it as a joke because, like, so many people were repulsed by it, this, that, and third. Lo and behold, 3 to 4 years after she's been sticking to it, of course, she's not mainstream, but she has a dope, like, cult following. She goes on tour all over the place. And I looked at that back then to say, this shit will never be marketable. This is the epitome of, and of course, maybe it doesn't, and yes, there is some, like, I don't know her sexuality completely, but, like, it kind of meddles those lines. But back then, I said this would never go anywhere. And to see what that's turned into, I look at ILoveMakonnen and say, nigga, you can't really get, if you make dope music, you can't get a dope fan base, even if it's not mainstream.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he had a hit record.
Yeah, it's like you said, he went through some weird business things, but the fact that, whatever, our headline for him today is him complaining about Gucci not pushing the record doesn't help.
Yeah, your marketing plan can't be Gucci Mane tweet the record that we got. I mean, like, can't be that, so.
And also, I do feel, by the way, it was rumored before, rest in peace, Lil Peep, that he was dating Lil Peep before Lil Peep passed away. And I think they had some music together as well. Some people, like, especially like Lil Peep fans, they like those joints. And, I think for him, he probably realized he didn't get as much recognition for those joints as he probably thought he would. But that happens in a lot of cases where a lot of rappers don't feel like they get exactly the praise or accolades or whatever comes with making music that they think people like. Yeah. So you gotta live with it somewhere, bro. Toughen up, nigga.
Well, Makonnen's project is out right now if you do want to go check that out. Support the music. We're gonna talk about one more album. So Benny the Butcher dropped Plug I Met, 7 tracks featuring Black Thought, Jadakiss, Pusha. Some really good features on this. Production by The Alchemist, DJ Shay, and more. Wayno, I'm gonna let you start. I know you're definitely a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, like, Benny's been, like, teasing at this for a bit. Like, he's been teasing at this EP Is it an album? Like, you remember last year we was calling 7-track songs, 7-track projects an album?
Hey, by Nav's metrics.
Right, if you got
5 out of 7.
I ain't gonna front, if we go by Nav's metrics, then I give 7 out of 7 for this because it's really dope. I mean, there's not a lot of room for error. You know, my favorite joint off of there is 5 to 50. You know what I mean? Featuring Indy. I think that's his girlfriend or whatever, because it's basically her telling a story of how when she started messing with him and she told her dad or whatever, but she's not rapping, she's just talking, and her dad was like, yo, be careful, but he's talking about his life. I think like this whole shit puts him in a different space as far as rap when it comes to respect. Because look at the features, like you got Black Thought on there, you got a Pusha T feature on there, of course like Jadakiss, you got 38 Special, RJ Payne, like that's another dude that gave a dope verse on there. I mean, like, out of 7 songs, I was really happy with this. I was really happy with this. And like when I look at New York hip hop, I mean, they're from Buffalo. Him, you know, 38 Special, West Side Gun, Conway, all of them. But they really holding it down in terms of New York, period. You know, but they're coming from a whole different place. So I think people should definitely check this out.
Okay.
Definitely check this out.
I gotta speak?
What the fuck do you think happens?
Hey, well, I checked this project out. I actually liked it. I won't even lie.
You like Black Thought, you know you got a Black Thought in there. You know Ak is a Black Thought fan.
Y'all know I fuck with Black Thought. And by the way, that's my favorite song on there. Crowns for Kings. Not gonna lie, Benny went in like his listen to this whole project, you kind of get the feeling that, you know how rappers rap from the point of like being famous and being popular and being rich? These niggas rap like there's some regular niggas, like they're construction workers that, not on some distant shit. Like this is a compliment.
Okay.
Like he has a line on a joint where he says his girl keep telling him he's famous, but it ain't hitting him yet.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like him like he's not getting it, but he's operating. He's talking about where he's been at. He's been locked up. He's dealt drugs, doing all these things. So like when she's relating his life now to like, yo, you're like famous, he's like, I ain't on some Hollywood shit.
Yeah.
And I think, and the only reason I brought that up is that that's like the mirror of how I kind of look at his music. Because it's kind of like, it's like music for like blue collar workers. You feel me? But it's dope. It's some dope
For
shit.
the people?
Yeah. Music for blue collar.
Yeah, yo, it don't feel like a nigga just flexing on you, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
it don't feel like a nigga that's flexing on you. It feels like someone who's relatable and someone either down the block or someone you know.
You know what I really like about this is like, all right, I've never, like, the only time I've ever been in Buffalo was when I tell you that story when I got stuck in fucking Toronto and I had to stay there overnight, right? But like, if you've never been to Buffalo and you listen to this, like, you could kind of get an idea of what it's like. Even like when I think of like Jay-Z, like he had a song called 97 Hove, you know what I mean? And when I only reference that because when I think about Jay-Z, if you had never been to Brooklyn, all of his music made you feel like you was in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So like his music kind of makes you feel like you're in Buffalo with him, you know what I mean? But for the pictures that he paints. But I fuck with this.
Yeah, it's nice because all the New York rappers usually concentrated in the boroughs or Long Island or something. It's nice to have some upstate represented. All right, so check out this new project from Benny the Butcher. All right, so last week I was telling you guys about this artist, Marlon Craft, who just dropped a project called Funhouse Mirror, and he released a video earlier this month called Gang Shit. So immediately Akademiks was confused why I would like a song with this title, but he was right. So the video and the song is basically about, obviously young men of color obviously get prosecuted for being in street gangs, but when we think about gangs, we forget that some of the most powerful gangs in the country are gangs like the police. So let's take a look.
My family raised me not to trust them. Fuck you, they ain't wrong. These other cops are my brothers, and they be wishing us harm. They told me that it's our culture to make sure that they suffer, and I can't break the bond. It's all I got. I'm faithful, dog. Shit, I bleed blue like I'm a Giants fan. To question my ways, to stop flowing my veins, so I ain't slowing the day. I'ma keep everyone safe from these black bastards, and that's word to my gang, gang, gang. I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang.
So this video is directed by Nathan R. Smith. Shout out to him. My two friends here are worried about legal troubles. Don't worry, guys. It took me like 2 weeks to clear this video with our legal team and Sony. Jesus.
Word?
Yes. It took a minute.
Awesome.
Hey, we really like this shit. Yo, that shit, it should remind me of like a Jordan Lucas video.
Right.
I mean, I see the perspective and like the role he's taken from like basically spitting lyrics that he's pretty much like representing someone else's point of view. So it seems cool.
Yeah, I seen this. I seen it on social media, and then like even when I seen him, like when I seen his page, I said this. I seen his page, and I seen him rapping. I thought it was still like it was somebody else doing it. Like his music kind of reminds me of, remember your old Droog? Mm-hmm. He kind of reminds me of your old Droog. Not comparing them, but like just how the type of beats he's using, etc. But this is dope. I gotta check out his album now.
Yeah, do it. He's interesting because a lot of rappers just make music for fun, and especially you white rappers, and then sometimes they face criticism. He feels like as a white rapper, he sort of has a responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
He has a responsibility to sort of like address issues like this, for the community that.
Yeah, he's definitely a motherfucking New Yorker though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's one thing you know about him. He's a super New Yorker, but I'm definitely gonna look more into this dude.
All right. Go his way. He sound black.
That's what I'm saying. When you see him, you're gonna be thrown off.
I'm gonna Google him.
I'll pull up a picture for you because I'm staring at Gucci's abs still right now. There he is.
That's him?
Yeah,
that's
Stop
him.
it, bro.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him?
That's him. That's him. That's what I'm saying. I saw a video of him rapping. I was like, oh, he's still doing like.
That nigga look like he's on ICDC commercial, bro.
Oh, what?
You never see the ICDC commercials?
ICDC? What
The
is that?
college, online college shit.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Okay, there you go.
Get off your couch.
Yeah.
Them joints.
All right, one more single. This is more up your alley. Here we go. Last week, Migos released a new single called Stripper Bowl. That's it.
Can't play Stripper Bowl.
You like this one?
Ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't get this cleared. I'm not even trying.
You ain't playing it?
Nah, I don't have time to clear every song.
God damn,
Take me
man.
years.
The one song Nadeska clears that we gonna play on the show
was definitely not gonna be Stripper Bowl.
Oh my God.
Stripper Bowl, they did it off of the whole. They spent $500,000 and they threw $500,000 in the club, so they had the footage from that. I mean, it's Amigos. Stripper Bowl is exactly what you expect from the Migos.
You see, this is why I was gonna waste time clearing it, just so you could be like, it's exactly what you would expect.
I mean, but it is exactly that. It's
Let's hear
exactly
the deep
what you
dive,
expect.
Ak.
The thing I love about Amigos is that they actually combine, and clearly because they have two projects that's called that, they clearly combine the culture of where they're from into their music.
Yeah.
I mean, strip club culture, that type of shit, and just kind of like making it, just making a soundtrack around it. That's exactly what they do. They'll turn that shit into a song and make it cool. So.
Did you see, I like Offset's tweet he put up. He said, I'm more than a rapper, I'm an entertainer, I entertain. I like that about him. I think that, like, because you seen the other day when he did the BET Awards, he was pop locking and all that shit, right?
Yeah, but that nigga been dancing forever.
He
Man,
is, but I'm just saying,
that nigga's
like,
a rapper who could dance. Stop playing.
Exactly, but how many rappers dance anymore? Rappers don't dance no more.
Well, to keep it real, though, I think for a good while he was embarrassed by his dancing. There's a lot of
Yeah, but why? Yeah, when people would ask, he would try to duck and dive.
Well, he used to come off as being overly tough. He'd been to jail a lot of times, and when other people would beef with him, they would be like, you know, when niggas is ranking on each other, like, yo, you ain't tough. Your real name Clarence or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll bring up like your real government. Be like, yo, you not tough. Like, bro,
No, they tried
look
to
at you dancing here.
Yeah.
So I think for a while he never embraced it, but to see him kind of, we're seeing a lot of full circle moments with Offset, in terms of even his last album and just him kind of realizing. I think we've seen that with 21 as well. Realizing you don't have to be that one image that you feel you're perceived by the fans, but you could just be yourself. So if you like dancing, you've danced your whole life, not now you're seen as the tough rapper that's cool, blah, blah, you're gonna shy away from it. Embrace that shit, do you?
Yeah.
And also I think his wife helps him with that because she kind of, whatever her things are, or like her flaws or what people might consider flaws, she brings everything with her in the equation of like giving you her personality. So, salute to Offset for that.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I mean, like rappers used to dance like fucking well, not every rapper, but Mace used to dance. Like a lot of the big rappers used to dance. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't see any problem with it.
I want to see a Uzi versus Offset dance battle.
Oh, that would be pretty good, actually.
That would be really
Where's
funny.
that Uzi project, by the way? Any updates? Anyone? No one? All right.
Who you blaming it on?
Oh, Roger said there's an update somewhere. Can you tell us? Spoiler, please. What is it?
Update, man. We blaming it on DJ Drama and
Yeah, the update
Nope.
is that Uzi doesn't know when it's coming out. There you go. Thank you, Roger. All right. Time for our new segment, Big Facts or BS. So last time we got into Boss talking about how inhumane it was that there's basically a mute button for drivers in Uber. That went on for a while. Today, our first topic is courtesy of Waka. Let's take a look.
I'm established. I'm rich as fuck. I could buy and do anything I want. So why the fuck would But I goddamn compete with a nigga that ain't got nothing. A nigga trying to come up. A nigga trying to make his mark in the game. That's selfish. Why would I goddamn go rap on a young nigga from an unknown state that just get hot, and I come give a feature and steal his shine? Now he got to fight to get another single with an established artist. That's selfish to me.
This has come up on the show a couple of times. What do you guys think of Waka's
Wait,
take?
explain what this nigga's saying.
Yeah, so I was confused at first too. So he's saying like it's selfish to hop on someone's song and outshine them. Although some people will see that as a blessing, right? Because the song is big, but then maybe if you outshine them too much, they cannot get another feature moving forward.
Well, what I got from the first part of it, what Waka was saying is like, not trying to steal somebody's shine as to it sounded like he was talking more on competition side. Like he said like, you know, why would I rap on a young nigga from an unknown state, get high, oh no, it was the first part of it, it's not quoted. But the first part sounded more like, you know, if you're lit and doing everything you're doing, then like why would you, it sounds like he was saying why would you compete? But with this, what I'm getting from that, like that kind of doesn't make sense to me.
That's why it
Like,
gets a little confusing, but that's the thing. I feel like it depends on the artist's perspective. Some of them would like that, but...
Waka right, but that's the game. Waka is basically saying, because we see all these niggas do it.
Oh, don't steal nobody's,
you see somebody getting hot, right? You see the bigger artists, they'll kind of jump on it, but, and us being sometimes just like, enamored by that or just like novices and looking at it, we're like, oh shit, Nicki's helping you or Drake is helping you. No, them niggas want a moment for themselves, right? Like Drake jumping on Fetty Wap's My Way. That nigga took that record from Fetty. Let's keep it on.
Drake jumped on round of applause for Waka.
Yeah, but Drake did it. He did it to a bunch of people. You feel me? That's what I'm saying.
Makonnen.
Like again, in the moment, it feels like a blessing.
Yeah.
In the moment, I think Waka, who's, you know, we gotta like contextualize Waka's career to kind of even understand like some of the, he gets on his Instagram story or like his Snapchat story and kind of gives these little gems. But I think it's because he's been in the industry so long and he's seen a lot of shit that he realizes it's deeper than what it might seem to be.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with him.
Is it always detrimental? So Makonnen, because you were talking about him earlier, right? So he had the Drake remix, that was big, and then things didn't go well for him after. Sometimes does it work out though in an artist's favor?
It works out
rarely?
sometimes, but sometimes it does hurt. I mean, it could go both ways, but I think you got to look at it as this, right? It's like, and even Boogie. Remember Boogie said that he was like, he wanted the feature from Drake, but Drake didn't give it to him. I think that it works kind of both ways because we have a Black Boy JB who was putting out music, right? He was putting out music. Then Drake jumps on Look Alive. Big record. Black Boy JB hasn't made a record to the degree of a Look Alive, but it did get him out there, right? Where then you have Little Baby with Yes Indeed. Little Baby was doing great, but Yes Indeed kind of helped him. Baby kept running after Yes Indeed.
Right.
So I think it works.
Also he was not excited about that verse. He let us know afterwards.
Yeah. No, but you got to think about too, like, if, again, we would know, but like to the casual rap fan, if we said whose songs look alike, they're gonna say Drake.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, by the time you get to Black Boy JB, you done heard a hook, a verse, and another hook from Drake.
But what Waka's saying, I expanded beyond just like a collab, right? I look at it, shit, look what Jaquise did and look what Mustard had to come out and say. Nigga, my artist got a song popping. Don't you jump over here trying to remix the shit like it's your moment because you're more popular. You're gonna steal that moment and shit, this is very important. Playboi Carti had an issue with Tory Lanez for that. Nigga, when Tory was trying to do a remix, he hit up the Carti saying, yo, listen, let me get the beat, I'm about to kill it. No, you're not about to kill this beat, nigga.
Yeah.
This is my song, my moment. I don't need no remixes right now. My shit hot. So I understand with that. There's a very fine line, as you even point out, but I think people don't realize that sometimes not everything, when a bigger artist comes in on a smaller artist situation, means the bigger artist is helping the smaller artist.
Right.
There's a lot of rappers who disguise their current status by kind of being like vultures in a way.
They be looking for a second win. Sometimes, not specifically a Drake, but like
I'll even say one, and I fuck with him. You know, like, that's my guy, like French. I always looked at it funny that when Hot Nigga came on and French did the remix, New York radio, a lot of stations, they would always play the French version of the remix. Like you're almost, no, it was hot. I know it's hot. I know it's hot. I know it's hot.
That shit is almost as good as the song.
I know it's hot, but like you got to think about people's moments. Of course, Bobby had a run, so like he had other joints, but like you have to understand how it does kind of rob that original artist a bit. I remember Future saying it a couple years ago. It's some YouTube video where he was in a studio and he said, "Yo." That's when, like, you know, Southern artists really didn't like New York. I hope that's not the same thing anymore. But he was talking about how, like, the reason why he don't really collab too much with, like, New York artists, he's like, yo, I'll do my song, and by the time I get to New York to hear it, they'll have me only on the hook and have 2 other New York artists on it. And for him, he was like, yo, how the hell am I supposed to get any shine from that? Because, you know, like, again, at that time for maybe it was more than
But are you saying
4 or 5
there's a
years.
difference between artists like taking it and putting their own spin completely, like a Jacquees, versus someone hopping on the feature, or same?
It could be both. It could be both, because sometimes I seen Wiz Khalifa jumped on somebody's song. It wasn't really a standout verse, nothing like that. But it felt like it was just another moment for Wiz. It's a very fine line.
I mean, but sometimes, I mean, you also got to remember that artists get inspired by other shit sometimes, and they want to jump on shit just because they might like it. And at the same time, we always hold artists like in a certain space when they don't fuck with the younger artists, right? We always say, oh, well, he's not fucking with him, or why don't they jump on other younger shit and help people out? Where you got Thugger, how many artists has he brought us? All of, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it goes both ways. I think that...
Yeah, but I think in what Walker said and how I'm viewing it is like, there's rappers who do collabs as cloud chase. Right?
For sure. But then it's on the other artist to say no. But sometimes you want the look. But then you just have to have a follow-up record that's as good.
But here's the thing, though. When you're a young artist and a bigger artist comes to you like that, first of all, your label wants you to kind of do it.
So you can't say
right?
no.
And also, it is a good look for you. But again, that is your moment. I mean, I look at Kodak. Kodak came out. He had the No Flocking joint. Drake started showing a lot of love, and a lot of people assumed that, yo, Drake's going to do a remix. And Kodak notoriously said at that time, he's like, yo, I don't give a fuck about that shit what Drake doing. Like, yo, it basically almost not accepting, or not really not accepting the love, but not really pandering, like, oh shit, Drake do a remix to it.
Yeah.
I think Drake backed off that record because Drake was dancing to it on the plane.
Yeah.
He was really fucking with the joint. Drake backed off of that joint, and a lot of people say, yo, Kodak's mouth fumbled the bag in terms of not having a possible Drake remix.
Yeah,
and honestly, I don't think he did.
He didn't, because I mean, he still was able to make records.
I felt to keep it real, Drake not taking that moment from him made us focus on, yo, let's see why this nigga even rap like that.
Yeah.
And we got a couple of the joints, the Don't Skrilla joint, and then we kind of figure out what a nigga from Broward would sound like.
But that was what was smart. Like what they did with like Bodak Yellow was they never put the instrumental out, so nobody could get on it. That's why you never heard a Bodak Yellow remix, or like if they did, somebody did the beat over. They never put the beat out because it was like, all right, it would have kind of taken away. If that beat would have been out, you know how many people would have had like Bodak Yellow freestyles? It'd have been a whole remix with 15 people on it. But that kind of helped the record.
It's an interesting topic.
To keep it to itself.
Also, Waka, who sees himself as not only a veteran, but like kind of like a grandfather to a lot of new artists, even though he's definitely still actively making music and shit like that. I think he sees how other artists kind of like maintain, as I said, like rap sometimes, the collab game is a cloud chase, right? He sees how other rappers just kind of hop from new rapper to new rapper, and it's like they're kind of almost leeching on to have that like importance or relevance at the moment. He doesn't do it. I think he resents it a little bit, and I think when he says this, he's kind of trying to kick game to the younger artists who probably only think it's like a positive when a veteran or someone else bigger than you, quote unquote, wants to get on a song.
Yeah. All right. So some good advice from Waka, something to think about. I'm sure younger artists are still going to take some of those features, but just to know what you're getting into is good. Always good to be educated. Oh yeah. Sorry, Roger. So is it facts or BS?
I don't know. Is it?
For him, I guess you would say it's facts. Yeah, I forgot. We have to like have a definitive.
No. This is a factual statement.
Okay.
Facts.
Factual statement.
Factual statement.
I don't want to call it BS. I'm kind of in between.
Yeah. Roger, we need an in-between option for this one.
For real.
Although I'm always going to be the one in between.
Nah, it's either or. Like,
I'll go with facts then. Fuck it.
We live in a world of extremities right now. Shit is either classic or trash. Like, there's
That's
no.
crazy,
That's your
man.
world of extremities. You don't
crazy.
have
No,
to
actually, well,
promote it.
that's the Instagram world I live in.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. Although it's on a case-by-case basis, there are a lot of facts in this statement. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's just end with one quick hit because we got to go soon. Jussie Smollett. The saga continues. All right, so cops have released almost 70 hours of video footage connected to his case. And in one clip from police body cam footage, we can actually see him speaking to the officers with the rope around his neck still. And a few seconds later, his manager tells the cops to turn off the body cams. Take a look.
How you were going to get something in. And the reason I'm calling you because of this shit. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to take it off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted y'all to see.
72 Reverend. Shows transported one female official
There's
detention.
bleach on me. They put bleach on me.
Okay.
18.
All right, so we thought this was dead when the charges were dropped, but it's not. So now a judge has ordered a special prosecutor to investigate how the state attorney handled the prosecution and basically launch a probe into why she decided to drop the charges against him after he was indicted. So no one has time to check out 70 hours of video footage, but I'm sure we're going to see the highlights continue to surface.
Academics will. I can't wait to see the Academics review video for this one.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Jussie Smollett is a sick fuck. Just even seeing the visuals of like the noose being tied like that. I imagine like 3 black men on some serious shit, really tying a noose, setting up this fake plot, and nigga really putting around his neck and literally talking to the police, playing victim. This guy's a sick guy.
The only
Really
words that
sick.
stuck out for me was, I just wanted you to see it.
Yeah.
Like, it was, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. I don't know, man. Let's see what happens. But hey, JT's coming home soon. According to P, sorry, I know that was supposed to be the last story. After this, we're really gonna go. So he told, so this is P from QC. He told Miami's 99 Gems that JT from City Girls is coming home in the next 3 months. No additional details on the government's inmate locator. It still says she's coming out in March 2020, but hopefully he's right. That would be dope for her to be home soon, and that's it.
Her first Instagram post is gonna be crazy.
I can't wait.
Well, listen, since everyone is either madly in love or pregnant,
man. Are you
hopefully
done?
JT could come home and really keep the City Girls summer going. Because everybody else, they're looking very funny in the light.
Why can't you be madly in love, pregnant, and still acting kind of crazy?
No.
You just said it's a world of extremities that we live in.
Listen, Nadeska, I know you accept all type of people who act differently, but nigga, you better stand up against some of this bullshit you're seeing. You can't be madly in love, baby in the belly, and wilding out.
Why not? Cardi did it.
Balance.
There you go. Thank you, Wayno. we gotta go. Hey guys, thank you for watching Everyday Struggle. Remember, we are off all of next week. Thank you, Akademiks, for the reminder. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you here tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
City Girl. You having a City Girl summer?